Greetings to everyone on the channel Real Facts. We have already told you how amazing, beautiful, and cute animals are. And today we will tell you about another wonderful quality of some animals: enormous devotion and courage. We dedicate this video to animal heroes who did not stand aside but came to the aid of people in dangerous situations, and sometimes they even saved people's lives. This story happened during the war. A female member of Reconnaissance Patrol had to go from headquarters to a neighboring village. There they had taken a soldier prisoner, and they were going to interrogate him. There were not enough resources or people to take the woman to that village, so there was nothing to do except go there alone. She took a horse and went to the village through the forest and field. When she was right in front of the field, her horse suddenly stopped and did not want to continue going. The woman could do nothing to make the horse go. Finally, they were able to cross the field from the side at a very slow pace. The horse constantly changed her direction from one side to another. After crossing the field, the woman saw a sign that said "Minefield" at the end of the field. Just imagine her reaction. Ricky the cat is a sailor. A young couple was flying from Italy to Spain. The plane crashed at sea. The man was injured, he became weak, and he drowned. The woman continued swimming. Before the disaster, they had managed to send an SOS, and one of the ships that had received it was unsuccessfully exploring the area of the disaster for several hours. The crew of the ship was about to stop looking for the young couple from the crashed plane. But the cat, Ricky, who was on the ship, climbed onto the bow of the ship and began to meow loudly, running back and forth. The captain ordered the searchlight to be directed forward, and they noticed the weakened girl. The following story happened on the Berthoud Pass in the Colorado mountains. Leonard Summers was skiing with his cousin and a husky dog named Juno. It was getting dark, and they got separated. Suddenly, Leonard hit his head and fell with his back directly against the frozen roots of a tree, which damaged his vertebrae. Due to the injury, his whole body was paralyzed, and Leonard could not even cry for help. The dog immediately ran to his owner and licked all the snow from his face. After that, he covered Leonard with his body and did not move in order to keep him warm. They spent about 50 minutes in this way, and then the dog heard the voices of other skiers who were passing nearby. They also had a dog with them who immediately ran after Juno, and the people followed her. Among the group, there was a trauma surgeon, so first aid was provided professionally, and Leonard was taken to the hospital. Now he is confined to a wheelchair and does not know whether he will ever walk again, but he is extremely happy that he is alive thanks to the devotion of his beloved dog. In addition, Juno even now helps him rehabilitate, not allowing him to be sad or give up. And today, Juno became the star of the show. She picked up PETA's Heroic Dog Award for her lassie-like actions, which no doubt saved Leonard's life that bitter, cold day. Another touching story of saving a person is about a dolphin. This incredible story of Adam Walker, who is a long-distance swimmer, is not the first time for him to meet marine inhabitants during his swims. In 2012, during a 17-hour swim in the Molokai Strait in Hawaii, he was seriously injured by the bite of a Portuguese ship jellyfish, a sea creature whose venom is very similar in effect to the cobra venom. But 2 years later, the man went on a swim in the Cook Strait in New Zealand, and this time he had to face a much more serious danger. It was a great white shark that reached up to 22 feet in length. Adam noticed it by the huge dorsal fin which was seen above the water, but the man continued swimming. Then something incredible happened. Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a pod of dolphins appeared next to the swimmer. 10 of them quickly surrounded him and stayed by his side until the shark swam off. They provided him with protection from the dangerous shark. Then the swimmer's rescuers did not disappear immediately as soon as the danger passed. They were going side by side with the man for about an hour. This was enough time for the shark to lose interest in the victim and swim further in search of easier prey. Only thanks to his new friends, Adam managed to complete his race, which lasted 8 hours and 36 minutes. By the way, Adam is the only British swimmer who has swam in all 7 oceans on our planet. As he told, dolphins swim at a speed 6 times faster than the average Olympic swimmer, so the mammals had to slow down their speed in order to help him out. And this is proof that dolphins are not only intelligent, they also have a good heart. This cat is a snake catcher. Cats are usually afraid of everything that is even a slight resemblance to snakes. Tess Guthrie from the city of Lismore, Australia, had a cat named Duchess. One day, the cat's behavior became strange. The pet started to become concerned at every sound, and she refused to eat for several days. Tess called a veterinarian to consult about the cat, thinking that her weird behavior was a symptom of some kind of illness. Tess and her 2-year-old daughter were about to find out what their cat was worried about. It turned out that the cat could not calm down because of the presence of a long python in the house. On the night of the same day when the veterinarian came to them, Tess woke up in the bed where she was sleeping with her daughter. The woman was struck by an unusually aggressive and constantly hissing Duchess. Using the flashlight on her cell phone, the woman saw something terrible: a 6-foot python curled up around the arm of her sleeping daughter. Thanks to Duchess, who had sounded the alarm, Tess was able to free her daughter's hand carefully from the snake. The girl suffered from several bites, but her condition was good. At first, even the police did not believe the story of this old man from California. It seems too fantastic. Robert Biggs is a lover of hiking. In the past, he had already met dangerous local inhabitants, for example, poisonous snakes. But this hike, he will definitely remember the rest of his life. On this unfortunate day, Robert was watching a mother bear with her newborn from about 40 feet away, but he had no idea that he was being stalked by a ferocious mountain lion. As he turned to leave, the cat pounced on his backpack with all 4 paws. At first, the man thought that a friend of his was playing a trick on him. However, Robert was not at a loss. He had his rock pick out because he was on a steep incline, and he smashed the cat in the head with it. It screamed, but it did not go away. Then a huge figure jumped from the left side. It was the grizzly mom who fiercely faced the wildcat in a dangerous battle to save Biggs. The man escaped with just a pair of scratches and bruises, and the cougar was shamefully driven into the depths of the mountain thickets. Biggs is sure the grizzly mom remembered him from their previous meeting and decided to risk her own life to rescue him from the dangerous cougar. Homer, a thin black kitten, was not a lucky one. Wandering along the streets of Miami, he caught an eye infection. He was only 2 weeks old when he was brought to the veterinarian Patricia Cooley. The people who picked up the kitten thought that the best choice for him would be euthanasia. However, Dr. Cooley made another decision, one that would later allow Homer's story to inspire millions of people around the world. The doctor let the kitten live, but had to remove his eyes. She saved his life in the hope that there would be a kind person who would give a tiny blind animal a chance for a happy life. This kind person turned out to be Gwyn Cooper, who was immediately fascinated by the kitten and called him Homer, naming him after the famous ancient Greek blind poet. 3 years after Gwyn took Homer into her heart and into her home, she woke up one night and saw the usually good-natured cat in her bed and an uninvited guest in her room. Just as she once rescued him, Homer did the same thing now. He was attacking the burglar and biting and scratching him viciously until he ran out of the room and then out of the house. Gwyn would later write a bestseller, the book Homer's Odyssey, as well as the continuation of her cat's amazing story. Thanks to Homer, many shelters no longer euthanize blind cats right away. Homer's inspirational story has increased the amount of cases when a family adopts a blind cat. Homer lived for 16 years. A man was between life and death when he met an unexpected marine lifeguard on his way. In 2000, Kevin Hines fell from the legendary Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Hines fell 220 feet at about 75 miles per hour. The impact from a fall like that is similar to hitting concrete. The contact shattered 2 of his vertebrae, and the doctors later told him that he was only 2 millimeters away from severing his spine. In excruciating pain, Hines struggled to the surface and felt a creature nudging at him. When the incident occurred, the temperature of the water was so low that about 15 minutes of being there is dangerous to an ordinary person. The guy was sure that a dangerous shark was swimming under him, and he was about to say goodbye to his life. He punched it because he thought it was a shark coming to eat him, but it helped him stay afloat until the Coast Guard came. Later, a witness told him that it was a sea lion that had helped him out that day. As Kevin told, this incident dramatically changed his view on life and made him start appreciating life. He happily tells the story of his miraculous salvation to others, and sometimes he even makes speeches about it at conferences around the world. Biologists call this huge whale a humpback whale. It is considered to be one of the most musical and most energetic creatures due to the fact that it not only makes loud, unusual sounds, but also arranges peculiar acrobatic performances, jumping out of the water. In addition, the humpback whale has a reputation for altruism, whose actions often help save the lives of other creatures. Nan Hosser is a marine biologist. She says the humpback whale saved her from a possible attack by a tiger shark during a recent expedition to the Cook Islands in the Pacific Ocean. Seeing a giant going along the water weighing almost 23 tons, the researcher rushed to him to get to know it a little better. Then, to Nan's surprise, the mammal suddenly began to cover her with his pectoral fin and even try to push the woman to the surface. The researchers did not immediately realize that the huge whale was directing their team away from danger that they had not even noticed at first. This was going on for 10 minutes. In addition, another whale nearby at that time was also trying to distract the shark with his tail. Only several minutes later, Nan realized that her life was in danger. She spotted the shark's tail moving not far from her. At first, the woman thought it was another friendly whale, but the whale's tail fin moves up and down, while the shark's fin moves from left to right. As the biologist told, she had been saving whales for many years, and this story was one of the many evidences of the devotion of these animals. According to various sources, these mammals are often ready to risk their own lives for the sake of saving other species that are not even related to themselves. The reward for saving almost 24 human lives? A package of food and a bell. This was gratitude from the residents of the city of Kungar to a cat. Both the saved and the rescuers are sure if it were not for him, then the fire would certainly have done a great damage. Being asleep, people could hardly understand what was happening. In a panic, barefoot, they ran out into the street and the residents of the first floors jumped from the balconies. Everything could have turned into a real tragedy if it were not for the cat. The pet woke up his master late at night. Waking up, the woman smelled something burning, looked out the window, and saw puffs of smoke and a burning pantry. Then she started knocking on the doors and waking up her neighbors. The residents of the building were mostly elderly people. Rescuers said that the cat saved the lives of at least 15 people. In addition, if the fire had not been noticed on time, the fire could have spread to a gas pipe. Experts said that the 3-story building would have been completely destroyed by the explosion. The local people told the story of the cat savior. When a female cat gave birth to kittens, 5 of them were immediately adopted by the local club staff. The 6th kitten, who became a hero later, nobody wanted to take. The kitten seemed weak, ill, and he was constantly meowing. Finally, the club director, Valentina, adopted the kitten and was taking care of him for about a month. And now the cat repaid her with a good deed of his own. Words of gratitude from neighbors and a letter from firefighters to the owner, a stylish bell, and a large bag of food to the cat. Such a reward was received by the owner and her cat. And that is all for today. Friends, do you know any stories of heroism of our faithful friends? Write them in the comments. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel.